G'day, Bruce Smith here, geologist and CEO of Radius Gold. We're in southern Peru, one of the world's largest and most concentrated copper producing terrains. Flying through some of these giant mines, Toquepala in production for 65 years, Quellaveco over 5 billion tons of copper ore, and on up to Cerro Verde, the third largest copper mine on the planet. And now flying north across the plains to Tierra Roja, where Radius has an option to acquire 100%. 25 kilometers from the coast, on federal land and with no community, we're going to go on a project tour looking at high-grade rock chip copper geochemistry. We're in Tierra Roja property in Peru in the Nazca Desert. You can see that this rock here, it's silicified, strongly silicified. It's all oxidized. It's full of clay alteration, strong silica, patches of copper. But we're on the outside margin of the porphyry system, tracing it for about 1 kilometer, and then we'll pop over the top into the next valley into the core of the system. But here we have a strong silicification, strong sericite alteration, fracturing, oxides, and copper, patches of copper all through it. This is my mate Felix. Vámonos. Okay. So as we come up the valley, we've come up about 100 meters. We're still in the same alteration system, but you're seeing more and more copper. These are structures going through, cutting across the system. It's only about 1 meter wide here. High-grade copper, it's probably 2 or 3%. We're seeing alteration with copper, small disseminated copper right throughout this, and then high-grade structures. But as we get over into the core of it, this grows and grows. It becomes more and more structures, more and more disseminated as we head up the valley. Done. Okay, this is kind of like a crusty superficial cover, and it's made up a lot of this material, which is a sulfate, like a cap. This comes from the oxidation of sulfides. In this desert environment you get sulfates, and they form a caliche crust, and some of this has got tiny remnants of copper left, leading us to believe that there's the possibility of copper leached out of the system and deposited in copper enrichment zones, copper blankets that are common in these type of porphyries in this desert environment. Like, to the south there's La Tapara, Tia Maria, Zafranal. A lot of those deposits had enriched copper zones beneath a leached cap. That's what we're looking for, enriched copper. Vámonos. 3. So we've come up through all this alteration, silicification, seen the structures down below of copper. We've climbed up to the top of the system, and up at the top are these rounded river gravels, right? So rounded river gravels, these are the formation of Quellaveco. They're young, Pleistocene, maybe 2 to 4 or 5 million years old at most, and out to the sea out there is about 20 kilometers, and the rocks down below are Jurassic, like 250 to 160 million years old, and the Quellaveco covers the tops of the mountains. Then we've got this caliche, like a covering rock that you don't see anything through, but as you walk through this way, we've had a bulldozer up the top here. It's broken this rock sequence. It's broken through the thin caliche cap, which is sometimes 0.5 meter to 2 meters. And this rock here is actually intensely silicified. It's ex-volcanic. You can't tell what it is. You break it, you have a look with your hand lens. It is just silica. So it's likely, we think, a silica cap. Come down off the ridge, we start to come down the track. You can see that this is your general cover sequence float, a bit of ash and sand, wind-blown material, and it's kind of a sulfate caliche cap. You can't see no copper underneath there, but if you cut a track underneath it, we've got a porphyritic andesite, quite strong silicification, with potassium feldspar, and lots of copper. We'll walk all the way down to the bottom of the valley to where the truck is, 200-300 meters away, all through this copper all the way down. Tierra Roja. Go. Felix Ceron, geologist for Tierra Roja. We've been 40 years experience. So we came down from the ridge up the top. We will go all the way down. We saw the copper through the track underneath the cover sequence, underneath the caliche, and up the top the river stones, the Mokawa. We come down to the bottom of the project. We had a look in the pit before. This is the high grade copper that the artisanal miners have been trying to take out. This stuff is running 10% copper. It's intensely brecciated. We don't know the original rock type. The original rock type was completely destroyed by the alteration. It's intensely silicified, brecciated, sericite alteration, classic for the porphyries of this system. And this is Tierra Roja project. We can set the rig up on the other side of this little ridge, turn it around and drill 500 meters deep that way through the system. Tierra Roja property. Thanks for watching Tierra Roja project tour. It's going to be an exciting year for Radius, drilling high-grade copper targets in a terrain of giant copper mines.